Hello, everybody. A very, very good afternoon to you all, and welcome to not a usual stream really here at Taurex, but another daily live trading session with a particular interest in what's happening over in the States right now. We are just underway with Donald Trump's inauguration day, yes, it's going to be. It's going to be a strange one, to be fair. I wasn't really quite sure how exactly the markets were going to react. But we are seeing initial moves already, which is a good sign for those who are looking for some more volatility for today. Just before we, obviously this is normally a Monday stream, so we do a typical breakdown of the week, which I will have a look at the economic calendar as well, because after today and after we hear from Trump and etc. and the inauguration ceremony is over, we will get back to some more normality in terms of like typical market events that we've got scheduled for the week. Before I go through any of that, I just wanted to quickly apologise to anyone who's watching me maybe on catch up and realise that I'm not actually on at the normal time I was on. I did put this in the Discord channel in the announcement section today. Just a slight change to the normal schedule for this week. I'm moving away on Wednesday. There's a lot of things going on in the background. So I'll stream just an hour earlier today. And then tomorrow I'll be streaming at normal time. And then on Wednesday is the day that I'm flying. So I'll be going to the airport around 3 o'clock. So I'm going to stream a couple of hours before that. And then once I'm settled in my new place, I will be able to, have a bit more of a normal schedule, should we say. So I do apologise to anyone who's maybe watching on catch up and was expected to see me live in an hour's time. Okay, right. So for today, as you know, we have got Trump's inauguration day. It's going to be what's really driving the markets. If you have a look at the economic calendar that we've got here over at Taurex, you can actually see that we've got, if I go back to Monday, today, the presidential inauguration, which is really the only high impact news event. It's really the only event that we should be focusing on. I've actually got it on. I've got it on in the background at the moment. I'm not there. It looks like Washington's just filling up now, so there's not too much going on just yet. We are still quite early in the day over in the US, so perfect time really to stream and just give you an indication of what this is all about. As explained here, the inauguration of the US presidential term is basically the commencement of the 4-year mandate period for the incoming president, which is Donald Trump. By taking the oath of office, president and vice president are officially invested, culminating the presidential transition period. So the reason that I wasn't quite sure what maybe we'd expect today is because a lot of what we're expecting from Trump we've heard over the last few months, right? Which is, tariffs, tightening, really pro-dollar, pro-crypto, pro-stocks. And as a result, over the last, really since he won the election back in November, we've really seen those narratives come to play, right? We've seen stocks higher, we've seen crypto higher, we've seen dollar higher, which has obviously coincided with a much more stubborn inflation rate than what we thought. So that's fed into all of this. And I think the risk today was that we're not quite sure if all of that's already been priced in, and therefore we shouldn't really expect too many surprises today. But the reason that I don't really agree with that is because we're talking about Donald Trump here. And if anything, he's probably going to, when he does his speeches later on in the day, he's probably going to be wanting to add some fuel and excitement to the fire, right? I mean, you saw what he did. I don't know if you saw what he did with TikTok yesterday when it was banned for like 24 hours, and he come out and just said, "I love TikTok." It wouldn't surprise me if he has some extra things to say that maybe we've not heard. If it was any other president, then I would say maybe the stuff's already been priced in. Now, when we look at the actual price action, and we'll talk about some of the moves that we're seeing, but just to give you an idea, if you are looking to follow the news, obviously your typical news channels, CBS, BBC, Sky, ABC News, all that sort of stuff will show the ceremony and stuff as we go. Of course, in terms of markets, this stuff here at the start, when it's like a ceremony, really, when they take the oath of office, I can't imagine that's going to cause too much. But then when we get the speeches come through later on in the day, we're probably likely to see the volatility come into the markets, and that's really the angle that we're going to be looking at today. We're not, not from a market's point of view. I don't think too much is going to happen early in the day, but later on, when we see when we hear from him, we should get some more clarity in terms of maybe his policies or anything that he's looking to implement. So let's have a look at really what the main talking point of the news last night was the Trump coin. So the price of Bitcoin actually hit an all-time high as he and his wife launched their own cryptocurrencies. Trump launched his own coin on Friday night, marking it with a picture of himself holding a fist up, superimposed over the words "fight, fight, fight." I'll find that picture for you now. I should be able to find that picture. I should have found it before. Oh, I can't find it. Not that we could probably imagine. Can't find it now. If anyone's got it, send it to me. I want to see it. I'll have a look on Twitter in a bit. But yeah, that was obviously a lot of the. Well, it's a meme coin at the end of the day, and that's what was causing a lot of the excitement in the crypto market, which was very interesting. In promoting the meme coin, Mr. Donald Trump told supporters to have fun with it. So yeah, that's an interesting one that we saw over the weekend, etc. And as a result, more seriously, on a more serious matter, we saw as a result of that the excitement and the positive risk sentiment with Trump coming in feed into crypto prices across the board. So I don't know if anyone's keeping track of XRP. A lot of my friends have been messaging me about this, but it's just been absolutely on a tear up recently. And as you can see, when we analysed this last time from a technical perspective, we mentioned how maybe the next buying opportunity would be coming from this sort of consolidation period that we had. Look at that. It's pretty much as textbook triangle pattern as you can get. And we said there's one or two things here. This is a pause to go lower, or more, if you follow market structure, this looks more like a pause which was going to break higher. I don't know if anyone managed to actually get in on this, but you can see XRP broke above this channel and then retested it. Actually could argue that this is on the daily time frame as well. Such a clean trade. The reason I want to show you this trade as well is I'm marking something I'm about to mark something that's very, very similar. So there's our fair value gap that was created when we had that breakout above it. Test of it, right to the pit, boom, moved higher. If we break that down onto the 4-hour time frame, just wanted to see if there was a more clear entry. It probably wasn't, to be fair. That's probably about the right entry that we would have got. Oh yeah, I suppose you got this one, haven't you? So it was a daily trade. So the market came down, filled the fair value gap. We should have entered, or the trade would have been this, entering at the test of this bullish order block, this blue area, and then as you can see, it's trading currently at 7 or 8 to 1. So that's a nice bit of analysis for you. Not that I've managed to get in on that at all, because that was last week. But we saw the same sort of excitement, not necessarily as much in Ethereum, but definitely in Bitcoin, where, again, we saw this situation where the markets were consolidating. Everyone was like euphoric because we were trading above 100,000. But you can see that we just lost the momentum, or look at that. I literally showed you exactly what pretty much would happen, is that we'd get that pause period for quite some time. But then we are now starting to see the breakout once more. So for Bitcoin, heading into today, again, it depends what Trump wants to say, how much more fuel he wants to add to the fire. But you can see we're already up 6% on the day. But I'm just wary of the fact that if you look at this high, we've actually grabbed, as it stands, the liquidity at this high. So if Trump adds more excitement or fuel to the fire, whatever you want to call it, and we see a candle closure above 110, then we could probably play something like that. But if we see a reversal today for whatever reason, and the actual daily candle fails to close above here, then we might actually see a rotation back down towards 90,000. So it should be interesting to see, but they're the sort of two scenarios that I would look for. Right, keep that XRP analysis in your head. The reason I want you to keep it in your head is because I found something very, very similar for the S&P 500. So I've made it pretty clear that over the last week or so that we were looking for more of a pickup in action in the stock market, which really started the year quite flat, not really too much going on. But I wanted to stress to everyone at the time that it was, it was that sort of moment in time where we were pausing. I wasn't seeing too much aggression in the selling sort of thing. So I was always looking for a buy the dip opportunity. And remember that I tried to actually enter down here, but I just about missed my entry. We actually then grabbed the liquidity to the downside here, and now we've closed higher. Now if I get my drawings on the chart, right, there's the breakout above this trend line. Right, clear sign of bullish momentum. You can see that. Daily close above it on Friday. Monday's price action continued. And as you can see on the hourly chart, there's the breakout. Can you see that? There's the breakout. And what I was looking for, or what I still am looking for, and we'll see if we get that, is you see this little gap in here between this wick and this wick. If I zoom in on that, you can see that gap there, right? That's our fair value gap. And where that fair value gap is, sits pretty much where that trend line that we've just seen broken out. So keeping it really simple, what I was looking to do was trade off the entry of this fair value gap with a stop loss pretty much covering this low here. Okay. And was trying to catch in on the momentum. I actually had I'll prove it to you that I've got hopefully you can see that. Oh, I just turned it off, didn't I? I've got that buy limit set. However, what seemed to happen is I think maybe the US just opened. I think it was the US Open, and obviously the start of all of this that's going on, and we had an initial injection of volatility, and the markets, reacted really sharply. Look, if I look at the 5-minute chart, got pretty close, didn't get too far away, and then we moved higher. So for me, for today, in terms of my actual trading opportunities, I'm still going to keep that buy limit in, because I'm going to keep it until we get sort of my take profit hit. So maybe 6,100. If we continue with that positive sentiment today, which I think when all said and done we probably will, this is a good initial start. Just be careful in thinking that the first move of the day on a day like today is going to be the last. You could actually argue that there's going to be so many retail traders trying to pile into buys here. What actually might happen is we might come and take out this low, hopefully tap into my entry and then move higher. I wouldn't rule that out, and that's why I'm keeping that trade there. And as I've said, it's a trade that I've personally spent some time analysing. I mean, if you look at the 4-hour chart, it was a really nice clean liquidity grab down here as well, which gave me the sort of ammunition. Yeah. So I'll post that in the Discord channel, because that's the only trade that I've placed the only new trade that I've got placed. And you should see that popping up in the Trade Ideas channel, which is why it's important to be in the Discord channel, because you're going to get all the updates, and you're going to get all of the trades that I'm personally taking as well. So that's S&P 500 buy analysis. Boom, there we go. I do always try and put one in there if I can. Now, when I showed you my MT5 there, you'll probably notice that there was another trade on. For those who are maybe just watching or watching later on, gold still very much remains a trade that I'm still in. It's a very, very similar trade to actually what we had in the S&P 500, where we had this sort of, seems to be that, when we came back at the beginning of the year, we had all these tight consolidation periods, and I've just been trying to play the breakouts, really. It's nothing fancy, with some smart money concepts around it. That trade is still live. People who watch my stream all the time will know that that's a trade that we've had on really since last Wednesday. So just to give you an update of that, you can see that throughout Friday we came close, because I put my stop loss where my entry is now, because we got up to a good risk reward. However, I do believe this is a situation where we've got maybe something that looks like this. So maybe one more leg of downside, which maybe creates a new higher low somewhere around here. As long as it stays above this wick, I'm happy. And then I believe that we could see, that's the reason I've got my take profit up at 2791. I still very much remain interested in or looking for gold to make a move up to that level. Okay. Also, a little bit frustrating here, but really clean analysis. I know that Bobby, if you were on the stream, who's one of the members of our community who trades the pound versus the Japanese yen quite a lot, I actually ended up plucking out a really nice trade, which I didn't execute myself. But if people did manage to, get in on that trade, then currently you're trading at nearly a 1.5 to 1, approaching 2 to 1. This looks pretty good for the first half of the week. However, I would stress that at the end of the week, we have got the Bank of Japan interest rate decision, and we are expecting the Bank of Japan, the forecasts are for a 25 basis point rate hike, which in theory, depending on the language that's used in the statement and the press conference, if that marries up with the decision, which may be a hike, then I'd just be aware of being involved in too many Japanese yen shorts, because we've been so used to a lower, ultra low interest rate policy from the Bank of Japan, which is why the yen's been weaker. However, if they're now switching to a slightly more hawkish stance and they're hiking rates, then it may be that we see some Japanese yen strength towards the end of the week. But for that trade, if they come out and decide actually not to hike rates, or they do hike rates, but the language that's used in the conference isn't that hawkish, then we could still see some more upside here. So technically it looks great. Fundamentally, I've got a slight question mark on the Japanese yen. But if you are a trader of dollar yen, then this week's going to be, for me, what I think is going to be very, very volatile, because you've obviously got the Trump inauguration today, and obviously the Bank of Japan on Friday. And they're the two main events really of the week. I haven't really found a clean trade idea on this market, if I'm being honest. I suppose this is pretty close. Look at that. We just missed this 38.2% fib level. So maybe that's an area of support. So I'm just going to keep that there for this week to see if we do manage to get that. But that could be a good support area for this week. But you can see the just by the volume in the candles how much participation is coming in this market. So if you are looking at any of the markets this week, be sure to keep a track of that dollar yen market. But I haven't necessarily got a trade idea for it just yet. My favourite trade ideas remain on looking for any dips really in the stock market. I was sort of hoping that we maybe would move in the other direction a little bit first today before Trump comes on later. It might be that anything could happen. We're going to probably see some random spikes of volatility today. So there's no reason why that trade idea that I've put in, which is my main one so far this week, why that can't be tagged in tonight if Trump comes out and initially disappoints or whatever. But generally speaking, I think that Trump is seen as pro stocks, pro crypto, dollar positive. So I'm on the lookout for any more meaningful dips in the dollar, stock market and cryptocurrencies because I remain quite bullish on those, which is not normally actually like me because I was quite worried about the state of the stock market or the crypto market not that long ago when we had interest rates really, really high, but they seem to have batted them off for now. But that's another debate. Okay, right. That's it for your weekly preview for today. Thank you very much to those who tuned in. And again, I do apologise for coming on slightly earlier and very late notice on that. Make sure you're in the Discord channel. It's the links in the description if you want to keep up to date with my trades. Also, we've got loads of other channels in there. Prop trading. We've got a prop firm, of course. We've got trading competitions where you can, for free join them and win some money. We've got signals going in there as well. When there is a signal, I believe that channel is now set up. So there's going to be signals in there that are regulated. And also you can come and chat to the community, which is growing at the moment. Okay. Thank you very much for tuning in. Take care and good luck today. It's going to be a strange one. So I'm sitting on the fence. I've got my trades open. I've got the S&P buy limit and I've got gold already running. So I've got enough risk in the market for a day like today. And have a great trading day and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you.